Write More Light. My name is Sarah. I'm with the Midwest Writing Center, and this is our web series in which once a week I interview somebody doing something cool in the arts, and once a week I give some kind of little bitty talk or lesson. Following the feature of the episode, I'll give updates on the Midwest Writing Center and leave you with a prompt to do at your leisure. Today is a Sarah Talks episode. We are going to talk about writing to the market. I've had a lot of questions lately, both personally and through the Midwest Writing Center, about writing to the market. And I have heard actually a little bit of stuff in the industry lately about it. So it seems like the right time to address this freaky elephant in the room. So first, let's define the terms. What is writing to the market? It means writing what is currently selling, what's currently popular, for the express purpose of getting published and or paid, and paid for your work. You say here is a market that is buying. I'm going to create that work, that writing, that book, that whatever, for that audience. Who has success with this? People who are already selling their work, people who already have agents or the like, and people who write on contract, which you probably already have a relationship with an agent or a publisher if you're writing on contract. Writing on contract means either the writer pitches an idea and it's accepted, or a publisher or whoever gives the writer the idea and then they have to write it. Then you have to pretty much do exactly what the publisher says or the contract is void. So really small number of people have any success with writing to market, and it's really like another little side niche group. There is people who like created the market. We'll say George R.R. Martin, right? Sparked new life into, I'll say, fantasy. I think it's a lot more complicated than that, having not read Game of Thrones. It's political and violent, but it's fantasy. So we'll say he brought new life to that genre. Or the Twilight books and the True Blood books, Sookie Stackhouse books, brought vampires into vogue. So those authors, George R. R. Martin, Stephanie Meyer and Charlaine Harris, right? They started the fad, so they would also have success with that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But if you're creating the fad, then you're not writing into a phase that's already happening, right? Okay, so why do I and or you keep hearing about writing to market? I think people who love to write and want to make a living from it mistakenly assume that it'll be an easier or faster route to success, whatever success means, probably financial, right? But why are you writing if you're not writing the thing you want to write? Why did you start writing? Why do you continue to write? It's not for fame and fortune. It's just not. None of us found art because we wanted to get rich. I do think there's merit to trying to sort of cross-train and learn what popular writers are doing, or writers popular in whatever, I don't want to say the word market, whatever, niche genre. It's useful to learn what they're doing, to read their work as an exercise. Trying to emulate other writers is an excellent way to strengthen your writing, even if the other writer is, especially if the other writer is not your jam. But like if the writer is simpler or more complicated than you, there's a lot to learn about that, and why it's effective and why people like it. So in order to learn is the next item on my list. And to stay up to date, it is really good to read living writers for a whole slew of reasons. But being able to have conversations with people about what they're reading and writing and enjoying is really fun. And, you know, living artists deserve to make a living. I am sure that regardless of what I say, there's going to be people who are just not dissuaded from the idea that they can or should write to the market. I keep putting the market in quotes if you're doing audio only, because it is already just a really vague term. First of all, like what market? I'm going to be really repetitive. I keep jumping way ahead. But like within the writing world, if I'm saying I'm writing what's hip in, I don't know, bookstores, there are 75 genres in there. Like, which market? You can't ever please them all. So why not just do what you want? I think this belief that writing to market is the way to go stems from the hope that if I was just doing blank, or if it weren't for blank, I would have more work in the world. Which is a nice thought. But it's super important to remember how hard it is to get published. Like, even for the best writers out there, the average acceptance rate across the board for writers is around 1%. It might be less than 1%. Like, that's just good to remember. It doesn't matter how close your finger is to the pulse of what's selling right now. It's hard to get published. Surely, you know, we could all improve our work, but sometimes we're just not getting published. We should obviously be doing our research and submitting appropriately to, like, places that fit, which is a whole thing. We've got other videos on that. But like that also will help our acceptance rates. Anyway, don't write to market. Here are things that I've heard from writers I think of as successful. Someone said that their work was turned down for being too niche. I say niche. Niche feels wrong to me. And then, like a few months later, that particular market blew up. I've heard someone's work was turned down because it fit into a phase that was over. This doesn't matter what the quality of the work is. I want to note that if the book is being turned down for these reasons, the book might be plenty good. And I've heard it was suggested that I make some specific change to get published, but it would have felt dishonest. It would have ruined the book. And those are real considerations that someone had to make. And it sucks to hear. And that person probably was like, oh, I should get more on target. But you can't do that. Like, how long does it take to write a book? Like a novel, for example. You know, you can't write for today's market if you start today. I hope I'm being convincing. I just want people to write what's in their hearts. So outside of agented publishing, I don't see writing to the market as super possible anyway. Like I already said, which market and to what end. You can read a specific publication, say The New Yorker. You read every single week, and you read their website, and you read every single piece of short fiction, and then you work and you emulate it. But again, odds of getting into The New Yorker are pretty much zero if you don't already have a name. And then you're training with a very specific aesthetic for a very specific audience. To what most writers will publish short works in literary magazines or journals, whatever. And they may simultaneously be working on developing a collection or a long-form project. Long-form project meaning like a novel or like one very long book of nonfiction. A memoir, whatever. A history. And doing that for market doesn't make a lot of sense, aside from me personally thinking that it's silly. There are just too many markets. They're made up of people. The people change. The mood changes. The market's unstable. Like, world events affect what entertainment we go toward. They do. Things are always, always, always changing. And there's no money in it anyway. If you're going to be writing all the time and working so hard, why would you do it? Why would you spend that time and that labor doing something for someone else? That is what this is effectively doing. If you're writing toward an imagined audience, you're writing for that audience. You're not writing for yourself. And that's so much work for someone else who may not exist, or, you know, a phase that'll end, or whatever it is. I really, really, truly, firmly believe that we should be making the work that is meaningful to us, and that a market, if we do that, readers will be there. If we're doing work that is meaningful to us, it will be meaningful to someone else, and there will be a reader for that. If you're writing for fame or fortune, you're in the wrong field. I would love to be wrong about that, but I'm not. I'm sure you can think of someone who makes a living off their writing, or one writer who's super rich, or who sells the movie rights immediately to all their books and they have money off it. It is not a lucrative field. We should be in this for the love of the game. I did recently hear one story from a literary agent about a well-established client changing their entire style to sell a book. And the book did sell for slightly more money than the writer's previous books. And the agent, who made money off that, was mad about it. The agent makes money when the book sells, and the agent was mad about it because the book wasn't as good as the author's other work. This agent picked up this client based on their work, and this was not that work. Anyway, not a long video, I guess, today. Markets change. Art from the heart will always reach people. So don't do it. Don't write for the market. Write for yourself. Yeah, so I'll give you updates now on the Midwest Writing Center and what's coming up with us, and then I will leave you with a writing prompt. So, wow, it is too sunny to look at a white page. There is an open mic this Friday, August 28th at Raygun from 7 to 9 p.m., Raygun in downtown Davenport. That open mic is hosted by our friends at Rat Trap Magazine. So that'll be cool. It's free to go, free to attend. It is. Then on Saturday, August 29th, at noon at the Rock Island Public Library downtown community room, so the second floor at the downtown library, we are hosting the winner of the Great River Writers Retreat, Saima Afreen. Will be talking about the work that she's doing during her residency here, and she will be reading from her ongoing project. She does a lot of really, really cool work with I came across this term while reading about her, gastropoetics. She writes about food and culture and identity in just really beautiful ways. And I don't know, if you asked me if I thought that, okay, that's not fair. I'll really read anything. Something that I pride myself on. But like, I probably would not have guessed ever that gastropoetics was a word. Or that, I don't, but I really think that if you do something, I didn't mean to get back into the video spiel. If you do something with heart, it'll reach people. So that's at noon at the Rock Island Public Library downtown branch. You can find info about that on our website, on our socials. It's going to be very cool. She seems very, very cool. I'm excited to meet her. Then same day, August 29th, from 4 p.m., I don't know when it ends, the Quad City Rollers, our local roller derby team, is having their 20th anniversary event. We're going to be there tabling. We'll be doing Poems on Demand. There are going to be a lot of really, really cool vendors and nonprofits there, just hanging out doing our work alongside this derby staple of our community. Then a lot is going on in September. We are, of course, Writers Studio, our free community writers workshop group, meets the first and third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. We've got an online group. We've got an in-person group. We take everybody. On September 8th, I will be at the Fairmount Library in Davenport doing a teen writing workshop. So that's for 11 to 19-year-olds to do some writing. I'll be leading some exercises. It will be a good time. Send people to write with me, please. Come write with me. That's at 4:30 p.m. 4:30 to 5:30. So real short, totally free. Again, for young writers. Then if you're in the Chicago area, if you're in Chicagoland, if you're anywhere near Chicago, Printers Row Lit Fest is September 12th and 13th. We will be there at the Midwest Writing Center at the small press tent. It is always a really good time. It's like 10 city blocks or something. The streets are all blocked off. It's all writers and publishers and some seminars, some readings, lots of book signings. It's awesome, and I love it so much. Yeah. Then September 17th, if you want to see me, I will be at Sidekick Coffee and Books in Iowa City in conversation with Paige Towers. She wrote a beautiful book called What They Stole. Subtitle is A Familicide Rooted in Intercultural Adoption. It is very interesting and beautifully written. I'm really excited to meet her. I've never met her. I just love reading and talking to writers. I think it'll be a really, really insightful conversation. Yeah. And then, starting on the 19th, so then every Saturday for 4 Saturdays, is our hybrid writing workshop with Brink Books. We've got a video on that. There's a lot of info on that on our website. It's contributors to Brink's Craft Anthology. So it's an anthology of writing that also has craft talk in it, the craft of writing. Contributors to that book will be teaching hybrid writing. There's a lot of absolute, just stellar work. I mean, it's exclusively stellar work in this book. So we're really in for a treat with Alicia Jetalo and Jesse Kramer will be instructing. I will be doing one of the sessions, and we've got another person lined up as well that we will announce so soon. And then, of course, we've got a 4-session zine workshop in October. We're gonna have more workshops coming up. All of our regular stuff is happening. We're getting back to What a Poem Wants, our poetry-only critique group. That's on Wednesday nights, one Wednesday a month, the third Wednesday of each month, I believe, at the Midwest Writing Center, 6:30 p.m. to... Nope, not 6:30. 5:30 p.m. to 7:30. The library closes at 6, so I know that it starts before 6. We've got Memory Keepers, again, once a month on Thursdays. All of this stuff, I think, that I've mentioned, except for that Brink workshop, that zine workshop, are totally free. We want to see you. There are scholarships available for those workshops as well. I will say the Brink workshop is $125 for members, $175 for non-members, and it does come with a free copy of the book, or maybe not free, right? It's included in the price. So that ends up being really cheap per session. I'm not doing the math. I did it and it's gone. Yeah, so lots of really great stuff. Please do follow us on all the places so that I have someone to talk to, and and so that you know what's up. We're doing really, really great work, and you deserve to have it, and it's usually free. So yeah, for your writing prompt, I want you to set a timer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, whatever it is that you have to spend writing. Set yourself a little timer, give yourself that space, and write what comes, whatever comes. It can be a journal, it can be a list, it can be a poem, it can be a story. There are too many, I'm not listing more genres. Write whatever comes, and your prompt is missed opportunity. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, please write more light into your life.